So I got to ask, what I think about Shaq's personal all-time starting five? He had himself as the center position. He had Karl Malone as the four. He had Dr. J as the three. He had Kobe Bryant and then Michael Jordan. What I think about that starting five? That's a tough starting five. Some people, and LeBron's gonna be crying about Ray gonna lose his hair, what pieces are real. Some people are gonna be like, well, how can he? Because he's got that right. He's GI classified to say who he wants. The only person that's going to get the side eye and elephant in the room is Karl Malone because there's two, but Karl Malone because he didn't win a ring, but Karl Malone uh, was the third all-time leading scorer, had a long, lustrous career, and for some people, if you take Duncan's rings and Charles Barkley's popularity, Karl Malone would be considered the GOAT power forward. Now, let me explain that too. Tim Duncan was the big fundamental. I hold Tim Duncan in high regard. He's one of my top 5 or 6 players ever. I ain't got to say no more about Tim Duncan. If you read me, I always tell you that aside from Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan was the most important player after Duncan in the early 00s. I'm going to stand with that. I will debate anybody on that. But Karl Malone didn't win, but he was a double-double every night, postseason. Just didn't have a center, and sometimes he didn't come up big in the postseason in the finals. Bulls were better. Michael Jordan was just another level. They came clamping down. But, again, you know, Karl Malone had a great career. Not two people can say they've had, and the guy kept himself in shape, had that turnaround set shot, did his thing. So, say what you want. The only other person that will catch some people kind of look will be Dr. J, and people forget because of a certain age of time. People always get romanticized about Magic and Bird saving the league. They never talk about Dr. J in the ABA and his whole street balling is coming from New Jersey, coming into the AB from the ABA to the NBA and what he meant impact. He had the fish that saved Pittsburgh. That was a Space Jam before Jordan and LeBron's thing, and he sneakers, etc., etc. That was the reality. That was the reality. For people who don't know how big Dr. J was, well, in the 70s, you had what I call the four corners of, well, five corners of the black male athlete, if you will. O.J. Simpson, Muhammad Ali, Reggie Jackson, Arthur Ashe, Dr. J. And those five were standards. That was a starting five. The most important brothers, I would say, in the individual sports at the time. And I got no Dr. J should be considered. He did a video, and I was thinking about doing it too. He's considered one of the 12 greatest players ever. I have no problem with that. You can have him one of the 10, 12, whatever is like a team starts 12, 15 man roster. Dr. J should be on that roster. Excuse me. Pardon me. Anyway, back. But Jordan, Kobe, again, that's what he picked. That's a lethal starting five. I ain't got no problem with it. But the LeBron people is going to have a problem with it. But I got to take it over Shaq. Got no problem with that. Shaq belongs as a center. I got no problems with that. I hold Shaq in high regard. Dominant. Did the thing. The last repeat winner. That's his, because right there, that counts for something. And the only guy after Jordan to three-peat. So that counts for what it is. He should get his due. I think that starting five is pretty lethal. And I don't think LeBron could see none of those five in their prime. None of them five. Because he wasn't as consistent as Shaquille was dominating, or Jordan, or the intensity of Kobe. Dr. J could play with great players and create. That gets underrated. Yeah, Moses Malone. There was one Moses Malone that came there, but that Moses had been in the league. Wasn't all this playing bowling, and then you got to go get 15 spares, and then you got to reset your pins. You could make a strong case for Dr. J over LeBron James. You really could. More than just a high flying, because he led his team. That team operated through his vibe and his vision. Very creative. I'll tell you one thing, the ABA Dr. J, there is no contest. The NBA one was great too. Man had 2 careers. Not that he had to change jerseys because he was trying to link himself up either. And like I said, rings aside, Karl Malone took care of himself. Had a low post. He wasn't scared to get in the post in the paint. Maybe that's a little Shaq dig at LeBron. Because basically LeBron is like like an emulation of both those two plus a knock of Magic and Stride. Just putting it there. But you tell me what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay true, stay cool, stay clean and fresh. I'm out one time. Peace.